No one saw that day coming. The headlines were quiet, the markets looked calm, not a single alarm rang on Wall Street. Yet the collapse had already begun, like a massive ship slowly taking on water deep below the surface, while still appearing solid above. The phrase, "the dollar is strong," echoed like a lullaby in an entire generation's ears, while the real truth darkened silently in the background. Behind the thick walls of the Federal Reserve, the first sound heard that morning was a silent alarm no one else could hear. As bond yields climbed to the most dangerous levels in history, the dollar's hidden power, trust, was dissolving like an invisible loss of blood. What brought the dollar down wasn't an explosion, but a slow, mold-like decay. The same fate as Rome's denarius, the Ottoman akçe, and the German mark. But the American people noticed nothing. Prices on supermarket shelves were rising, and everyone assumed it was ordinary inflation. Politicians spoke calmly, economists said it was temporary. Yet behind the curtain, the foundation of the nation was cracking. The true power of a country was no longer in its military, technology, or diplomacy. It was in the trust placed in its currency. And that trust was being shaken for the first time in a serious way. The moment of the dollar's death did not appear in a collapse chart. It happened inside people's minds. One morning, the world whispered a single sentence: "We don't want dollars anymore." That sentence alone was enough to bring an empire to its knees, because money is not paper, metal, or a government guarantee. Money is trust, nothing more. And when trust disappears, even the world's strongest currency loses its value instantly. The collapse didn't happen all at once, but when the day arrived, everything fell like a row of dominoes. Massive bond funds panicked, gold shot up within hours, Bitcoin surged wildly, and the dollar's name was mentioned less and less in global oil trade. The financial system was a fragile spiderweb. Once a single point snapped, the entire web tore apart. One of America's largest banks released a short statement that morning. Temporary, technical issue. The truth was much darker. Accounts were quietly restricted, and ATMs began shutting down one by one. Every screen displayed the same message: service temporarily unavailable. This was the exact moment the dollar truly died. The people panicked, the state panicked, and the markets panicked. No one knew what tomorrow would bring. When a nation loses its currency, it loses three things: its power, its future, and its confidence. And when these disappear, history always delivers the same outcome: collapse. Rome, Byzantium, the Ottoman Empire, Britain, the Soviet Union, all suffered the same fate. When their money lost value, their systems fell apart. America was now racing down that same dark path. But the ironic part was that America's true defeat wasn't economic. The real defeat was hidden in a single sentence: the world no longer sees you as a leader. Because leadership isn't determined by tanks, alliances, or elections. It's determined by the currency that represents you. When the dollar died, leadership was quietly buried with it. And in the end, people saw the greater truth. Wealth is not a number printed on a piece of paper. Real wealth is what cannot rot or disappear: land, production, energy, food, skills, and the human mind. The day the dollar died, the world trembled, but it also learned a powerful lesson: no currency is safe forever. But knowledge, creation, and ability never die. Throughout history, empires have always fallen for the same reason, and the dollar had begun following those same inevitable steps.